Welcome to Sand City Sports. I am your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King, and we are back again to bring you all the sports and current events news stories that you need to know. Folks, another exciting episode, a lot of great stuff to get into. Final Four is kicking off, NBA playoffs coming down the home stretch, had some major notable injuries, which we are going to speak about. NFL draft is also on the horizon this month. Big trade in the AFC, and we're going to touch on what went on with opening day. But to start off, folks, NCAA Tournament. Yes, we are going to start on the women's side. We have a marquee match up with the Iowa Hawkeyes going up against the UConn Huskies. My brother is in the building. Final Four on the men's side is in Arizona. Not sure where the Final Four on the women's side is. We'll get that for you on the screen. We'll start with the women. How do you feel about this first matchup? UConn Huskies up against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. How do you feel about this?
I mean, it's Caitlin Clark's time, so I see her kind of rolling through the Huskies. But when she plays South Carolina, it's going to be a different story.
Good stuff there. Listen, what I have in this UConn-Iowa game is simple. Geno Auriemma, this is his best coaching job. I'm not going to say of his career, and I kind of leaned into it, but UConn is without 5 players and 2 key players in Azzi Fudd and Caroline Ducharme. Both of these, Azzi Fudd was Player of the Year. Caroline Ducharme, shout out to this great hooper who's from Milton, Massachusetts, played for Nobles and Greenough, right here in the Commonwealth, a McDonald's All-American. These would have been key pieces on this UConn team, and they would have had a much better season. Bottom line fact of the matter is this, though. Caitlin Clark, this Iowa Hawkeyes team, they lead the nation in scoring. I simply do not think UConn Huskies have enough, even though that was a tremendous win against USC and Juju Watkins. I'm going with Iowa to take this. I think UConn can keep it close, but honestly, I think it's going to be a double-digit win for Iowa, simply based off the fact that UConn does not have 5 key players and 2 players that would have made noise, Azzi Fudd and Caroline Ducharme. All right, let's move over to the South Carolina versus NC State game. This Final Four is amazing. We got 2 programs that have 2 teams in the Final Four. Shout out to the North Carolina State Wolfpack, and of course the UConn Huskies. You want to go ahead and weigh in on the South Carolina NC State game? South Carolina led by Dawn Staley.
Yeah, South Carolina covers. I just see South Carolina rolling.
Good stuff. Listen, for me, what Dawn Staley is doing at South Carolina, I don't think it's getting the attention it deserves. This is a squad that's lost 3 games in 3 seasons and is certainly on a mission to have respect put on their game. I think South Carolina wins this game going away. These 2 teams match up during the regular season, and South Carolina won those games. We'll get it. I'm not sure the number, how much they won by a lot or a little, but they certainly won the games. And so NC State, great story. They're making the Final Four on the women's side, also on the men's side. I got South Carolina in a route to give the people the finals that, I want to say I don't want to underestimate any team or not give any team respect. But this rematch between Iowa and South Carolina after what happened last year. Remember Caitlin Clark. This really launched Caitlin Clark's legend and this whole storyline. If South Carolina wins that game last year, which they were supposed to do, overwhelming favorite, Aaliyah Boston Player of the Year, I really wonder if we would have this Caitlin phenomenon at all. We wouldn't have the Iowa LSU situation and drama. And by the way, that game, 12 million viewers. Broke the record for the highest rated women's college basketball game of all time. But let's just remember that, folks. South Carolina was supposed to win last year. They didn't. It launched Caitlin Clark's career. And since then, here's my overarching point. The South Carolina Gamecocks on the women's side have been in the background. They feel that. that resonates with them. And so if we see this Iowa-South Carolina championship game, I'm going to pick South Carolina as well in that. And I think that they will have that respect put on their name. How do you feel about an Iowa-South Carolina potential women's college basketball championship?
Yeah, I see that, and I also agree with the South Carolina winning it all as well.
Ball to shoot, I believe. Instead, she drives it here and banks it in. Here's Von Ohoffen circling around. Gardner will fire it in. Into Beers. Beers muscling in. 5 to shoot. Reverses it. But it won't get
to sprint in to get the offensive board and not just kind of wandering it.
Right. Here's Pow. The runner is good. Here's Hunter turning, taking, and hitting. Looking for Cardoso. Instead, it's Watkins. Pow will take. Can't hit. Here's Hunter. Gets the angle on Pow and lays it in for the Gamecocks out of the timeout. Cardoso gets a touch. Johnson drives, floats, finishes. Averages under 6 points per game this season, has 11 today. Corner.
She wants to clear out for Cardoso.
Yes, exactly. Here's Cardoso, couldn't finish it. Beer in this fourth. Johnson will fire. In the leaner short. Cardoso the rebound. The putback won't go. Tessa Johnson, 1 of 1 today. Now 2 of 2 from the Hunter. Quickly up the floor. The pitch back to Hansford. She doesn't hit for the 4th straight season. South Carolina.
South Carolina once again playing to the